Cole Radrick, thank you for joining us. How are you, man?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
We are cool, man. We are cool. Before we start as well, am I right? You're in Indiana?
Yeah, Bloomington, Indiana.
Good. We was in Indiana a couple of years ago. I fell in love with that place.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. It's on the bucket list. I cannot wait to come back. So
it's probably our favorite place. Like, I've been to quite a few places in America, and Indiana was just amazing. I don't know what it was about the place. I just love it. So does Jamie.
Yeah. Fell in love.
It's awesome. And like a lot of people don't realize like Indiana has like a lot of haunted houses, and like if you're like into like cool spooky shit, like there's cool stuff everywhere. And like even in Bloomington, there's like a abandoned water factory and shit. And it's all like graffitied out, and it's awesome. So like a lot of people think Indiana's kind of this cornfields, but there's a lot of cool gyms in it, honestly.
Next time we come back, you'll have to take us to see some of the haunted spots.
Absolutely, I got you.
Dude, honestly, fell in love with the place. We flew out for All In. We've got a friend who is from Indiana, so we stayed there for a couple of nights. It's not a long drive, is it, to Chicago? So we spent a few nights in Indiana, a few nights in Chicago. But yeah, man, I would move back to Indiana tomorrow if I could. I mean,
in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the coolest thing about Indiana is you're like in the center of everything. So if you want to go to Chicago for a show for like freelance, you can do that. Or if you want to go to Crown Point for Black Label, like Indiana's like really cool center for like Ohio, Tennessee, like Louisville, and like Lower Indiana. Like it's awesome. It's literally the heart of the Midwest.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's so many good promotions, like you said, in that area. In Chicago, you've got freelance, and I believe is it Zelo Pro in that area as well?
Yeah, Zelo's in
Black Label
around that area.
Yeah.
Black Label is in Indiana, but it's like not that far of a drive from Chicago.
Yeah, so there's so many good promotions popping up over the last few years in that area. Like we've spoken to quite a few of the promotions in that area, and like we've become big fans of the scene there. It seems like Chicago and the surrounding areas are just like really killing it right now when it comes to independent wrestling. Some of the best in America, if you ask me.
Yeah, absolutely. Like IWTV is honestly like a big part of that too.
For sure.
With live streaming and the platforms that IWTV presents, like you have freelance, I know, is going live. You have Black Label that goes live, and sometimes Black Label's doing like midday shows. You have Subgraphs that was going live out of Nashville. You have Paradigm Pro in Louisville going live. And I know like right before COVID hit, there's like several places in Indiana that had the possibility of going live that never had that chance. So like it's really booming. And GCW had a lot of shows in Indiana. Like it's a hotbed right now. And it used to be, the joke was Indiana's dead for wrestling. Then there was no good wrestling in Indiana. And now look, it's the place to be. Like it's pretty cool to see.
It was thanks to Fight TV that I first saw you. It was on a GCW show. I remember thinking, like, I'm sure Jamie said as well, this is a guy we need to get on the list for people to speak to in the future. As with most people on GCW, there's a lot of it is like it was our first exposure to some of these guys. We're not, there's nowhere else we're going to really see them apart from streaming. So put on GCW, you come on. And basically everyone that was coming out, I was like, we need to speak to everybody on this roster. It's just so ridiculously stacked from top to bottom.
Yeah, I remember last week when I messaged Callum, I said, Cole Radrick's coming on. And he was like, oh, hell yeah, I watched him on GCW. Can't wait. It was mad over
yeah, maybe backing out a little bit, but yeah, I mean, GCW during this whole pandemic have been smashing it. Like some companies have had to stop doing shows completely, whereas GCW's kind of adapted. And in this period of no fans, they've been able to still make it work. What's it been like working with GCW through the pandemic?
It's been really cool. GCW was the first company, especially, I think it was like June 21st or June 20th, maybe, was the first show in Indianapolis, and they had, we're social distancing, everybody's wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Like they were giving out hand sanitizer literally with a spray bottle with everybody between the matches. So like it was really cool seeing like proper precautions being taken.
Yeah.
And they've been able to run, alongside a few other companies, they've been able to run throughout this whole, lockdown, shutdown, whatever you want to call it, quarantine. It's awesome. I'm really thankful for the opportunities given to me just to go out there and do what I love and do the thing that, I wake up every day and just want to do.
Yeah. It's been great having some wrestling still, hasn't it? Like, can you imagine how bad it would have been if we didn't have any wrestling during this? Like, that could have very realistically happened as well. So just the fact that we've had any wrestling, especially independent wrestling, has been quite special.
Yeah, absolutely. It was 3 months almost to the day without wrestling, and it was like I was just counting down. It's like I'm just gnawing at the bone just to be able to go out there and perform.
So there's a company as well that I wanted to ask you about, because I've had a few people say to me, "Oh, watch this company, check out this company," and it's New Wave Pro.
Yeah.
Is that where you did your training as well? I believe. Yeah. A lot of people have said to me, "Check this company out." So I mean, what's it like being part of New Wave Pro?
I trained at New Wave Pro in December 2014. I had my first professional match there in April of 2015. Actually, I think I'm a year behind on those, but who knows? New Wave Pro is a very local company out of Terre Haute, Indiana. Ran by a guy named Mikey Guess, and honestly, they're growing. They're learning. They're adapting. They were kind of stuck in their old ways, quote unquote. But they've made such a drastic change over the past 2 years. They're hella talented roster, and it's a cool promotion because there's a lot of the old school with the cool high flying, but it's storytelling. It's really awesome. They're doing a really good job. I honestly can't recommend going and watching those shows enough. It's giving the platform for a guy named Don't Die Miles. He's really blown up the past year, and blown up in meaning in the sense of he's growing, he's evolving at a faster pace. He's been at it for about 5 years, and honestly, this year alone, he's quadrupled everything he's ever done. He's wrestling for promotions out of state. He's doing a crazy amount of seminars, and I can't sing the dude's praises enough. The original Sins are a tag team at New Wave. And they're just starting out too, and guys like Bastard Cassidy, and it's a really good promotion because there's not any, like, they don't bring in like big names that often. It's a lot of local people that are really talented, that if given the opportunity to go to that next level, they could knock it out of the park. Like, honestly speaking, I really think Miles Morales could be in a GCW ring within the next year.
Yeah.
He's getting that good. If guys like Jordan Oliver's like, I want to wrestle Miles Morales, like that says something.
Yeah.
But New Wave Pro as a company, man, it's one of those things. I hope they get the IWTV live, because that crowd loves every second. They eat out of the palm of their hands. They're hot from bell to bell. It's one of those things. It comes in time, man. But yeah, New Wave Pro is really cool. Check them out on IWTV. Check them out on Twitter. Really good company, and they're trying really hard to do their best.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that, man. I absolutely love independent wrestling. Me and Jamie both do. It's kind of like, when I think back, I was a WWE fan, but as soon as I found out about the indies, that's what I really fell in love with. Like early Ring of Honor and stuff like that, PWG, Chikara, was just, even IWA Mid-South and stuff like that, just blew my mind how good it was. And I feel like we're heading towards that boom period in independent wrestling again, where there's so many good companies. Like before, it used to be you had like Ring of Honor and PWG at the top of the independents, but now, like even in Chicago, you've got like 5 companies that could be the top of the independent ladder. And there's so many companies working together nowadays in 2020, like with the collective. What's your thoughts on like the way independent wrestling's going at the moment? Do you feel like it's a really positive move for all these companies to be working together like they are?
Absolutely. You know, a lot of times it used to be companies you can't use this guy, you can't use that guy.
Yeah.
They're battling for talent, and it's at the end of the day, we're all independent contractors, and at the end of the day, people need to realize that we all love the same thing, which is professional wrestling.
Yeah.
If we cast our bullshit aside, we can have these awesome super shows. We can have these awesome, like, this belt defended on this show and that belt defended on that show, and cross promotion. And there's no reason it can't happen. Paradigm Pro and Unsanctioned Pro had a show in Sellersburg, and it was awesome. It was off the chain. It's one of those cool things where it worked out. They did 6 matches, or they did one show one day, one show the next day, and the crowd was there both days, and it was awesome. And you know, talking about what's the next boom period for wrestling, honestly, once we get and have full attendance, or even 75%, if we can just have like a packed house and not have it under quotations of, hey, we've sold 50 tickets safely.
Yeah.
Safely, for sure. But I'm just speaking in terms, I don't want people to think I'm saying, fuck it, it's probably fine. Once it happens safely, and you can have these people just getting these loud, crazy reactions, and it's like genuine, I think that's going to be when it's coming back, when people can go to shows safely and not have to worry, and they can be as loud and rambunctious as possible. And when, you know, when people make their entrances, they're high five and getting hyped up. Like, that's I think once the legitimate like fan interaction comes back and it's hyped up, I think it's going to change it, because people miss that. You can tell, like, when wrestlers come out, fans are just like,
oh yeah,
yeah, set up for the elbow bump if you have a shirt on, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think that's what's next. Like, honestly, getting past COVID safely, doing what's necessary to get us to that point, and I think it's just a skyrocket from there.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, like I said, as a fan as well, I mean, I want to see all these companies working together. Like you said, imagine the dream matches, the super shows. It's just something special. And another company you've worked for, VXS, Violence and Suffering. We had the pleasure of speaking to Isaac a few weeks ago. What's it like working there and working for Isaac?
Dude, it was sick. Like, honestly, they treated me really cool. Like, they treated me super well from the time I showed up till the time I left. Isaac was like, hey, very accommodating. Was like, hey man, what's up? As soon as I was there, everybody was chilled and relaxed. It was honestly a really fun show. Like, I had a really good time. I had a doors, ladders, and chairs match with Eli Everfly, and that was pretty sick. It was pretty rough. I was feeling it on the way home in the car ride. But honestly, man, it was a lot of fun. For real, I'd love to go back. I know Isaac's talked to me about coming back, and it's just only a matter of time.
One thing I love about VXS is I really do think they've got the best production when it comes to the match graphics and the videos that they're putting out there.
Yeah,
it's easily on par with like AEW, for example. It's the best in the business, seriously.
You can tell a lot of work gets put into it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, they really do deserve some more attention in 2021. I really think they're one of the next big companies to like break out.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, no doubt, they're doing all the right things. So
yeah,
hopefully,
I think as well, Isaac, when we spoke to him, he's got a background in film, hasn't he, in directing. So I think that helps as well with the production and the way he sees the company and sees the shows that he's putting on. So that must be, I guess that must be interesting for you to have someone like Isaac who has that background. When he says, you know, let's do this, let's do that. What's that like?
It's pretty cool. Like, he definitely, he obviously lets us have free reign when it comes to, you know, fighting in the ring. But he's very much like, hey, this guy's going to be here with the camera. If you before you go out, you know, he's going to be watching you. So, you know, you have a backstage camera right before you go out. Like, it's a sick back shot. So it's cool to like know, hey, this is what he has in mind. So how do I bring it to life in my mind? So now we're both working on the same art piece to create an image. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
I get that.
it's,
Yeah, so,
it's a lot of him saying like, "Hey, here's the cool stuff that we have for you," and he's giving it to me, and it's like, "Oh shit! All right, cool, let's go." You know what I mean? So
yeah.
it's awesome, and like I think he does his own video editing for all like the match graphics, and he posted mine. I was like, "Yo, let's go!" Like that's sick.
So good, man. Like, even if he didn't work as a promoter, he could work for one of the top companies doing video production. He's that good. But one thing, when you mentioned the camera work and stuff, I feel like that's one thing GCW does really well too. And I think it was in the match with Kylie Ray that you had at the outdoor show a few months ago. I think it was in August.
Yeah.
Keep in touch. Yeah, I realized the camera work in GCW is really good because I think it was when you were both doing the entrances. The entrance was actually quite far away, but the camera actually kept up with you both as you were coming to the ring. And it seemed like I don't know, it just seemed like a really fun experience, that venue, the outside thing, and the way they were capturing it on the video and stuff as it was being streamed. It just seemed like such a good show to be at. Like, even though it was socially distanced and there was like not as many people in the crowd, even watching it live, I was like, man, I want to be there. Like, what's that like for you doing the outdoor shows with GCW? Because it seems like a lot of fun.
Honestly, it really is. I think the August show was like scorching hot.
It looked it.
It was either the August or the June show. One of them was, but honestly, it's super cool because that backdrop of the river, the entranceway, like it's just down a huge flight of stairs. Some people say fucking just go down the hill. I get it. I do. But it's honestly really cool. It's a beautiful scene. It's one of those cool things that you would never thought could be brought to life, but like a guy like Nate Webb helped bring that to life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Nate Webb doesn't get enough credit for making the collective happen and making the downtown events possible. Sorry, I thought he turned my notifications off. It's trash. I mean, I'm sorry. I completely fucked that up. I apologize.
Sorry about that. It was.
Yeah, Nate Webb will never get should get the credit, but he may never get the credit he really deserves for bringing that together. Like Nate Webb is the reason why Indiana wrestling was able to happen. Those outdoor shows, man, they're so cool. They really are. It is awesome that I've been able to do all three of them, especially in my home state.
The venues, like you said, for a GCW are amazing. The backdrops to some of the matches, like the one where it's on a pier. I think is it in
Atlantic City?
Yeah, that's it, Atlantic City. What a view that is! Like that's such a cool view.
It's crazy too because there's like the backdrop of the Ferris wheel and like the little pier carnival that goes out into the ocean. And I think Earl was getting a whole bunch of photos of like Lucky 13 and AJ Gray after the death matches in the backdrop with all the blood and stuff. That was the coolest. Like,
that's awesome.
It's the coolest image. Like exactly what you're saying. Like scenery and wrestling's sick.
Yeah, man. Like I'd never seen that venue before, and then I was watching the stream on Fight TV and saw that, and I was like, I haven't even seen a match yet, and this is already a fucking awesome show.
Well, speaking of awesome shows, another company, it's a company me and Callum have started following lately. I'm hoping to get them on the show for a chat. Is Black Label. What's it like being working there? Because they're another company that are getting a name for themselves again at the moment.
Yeah.
I was able to wrestle for them, I think, early last year. I wrestled for them, late last year. I wasn't able to work with them in 2020, but honestly, they're killing it. Like, they're very consistent. They're having great matches all the time, different cards. Like, there's always different wrestlers. You know, it's not very overlapping. You know what I mean? There are different wrestlers that you see on, like, GCW and freelance. Like, they do pull, like, people you wouldn't think of. They have an awesome following, and it's matches that you wouldn't think of to begin with.
Yeah.
And Mikey just brings them to life, and you're like, shit, like, that's awesome. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
That's it's really cool to see that.
Mm.
See that out of Black Label. And honestly, 2021 is just going to be another big year for them, and I'm really excited to see what happens.
Well, speaking of big years, I mean, we've spoken about what's going to happen with the promotions in 2021 and stuff. But what about yourself? I know that's a loaded question because we don't really know what's going to happen in 2021 when it comes to the pandemic. But do you have any goals that you'd like to achieve next year?
Yeah, I got goals. I have a goal list on my phone. For the first time in 5 years I've been wrestling, I'm not going to post it on Twitter. I think I posted one goal. I'll let you on a couple of them, but it's a big list and it has people I want to wrestle. Yeah. I really want to wrestle for AEW. It looks like an awesome promotion. I was supposed to do their tryout show. I was hoping to be a part of their tryout show. I hurt my foot the night before. Couldn't really work. Couldn't move really. I thought about still going, and I was like, man, I don't want to go there. My first impression, just me being a jackass, not hobbling around. Just being able to travel again, like keep traveling with wrestling. I really want to go to the West Coast. I want to go to the Pacific Northwest, go out of the country. But honestly, man, like I have one really big goal, and it's more of just like a checkpoint. You know what I mean? Just saying like this is a level I can get to.
Yeah.
This is where I want to work to. I want to do like the AEW Darks or like do an Impact, just something of TV and work understanding how.
So like a milestone point in your career.
Yeah, it's a milestone. Just saying, tipping my toes in the water and seeing if I can hang there. And I really think I'm getting to that point that I have that confidence that if I go out there and I get that opportunity, I'll kill it.
Yeah,
I'm a guy that every match I've ever been given, and it's a big opportunity. It's Cole either sinks or swims. I've swam on that. I've Michael Phelps at every time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've always been a guy with low confidence, but I'm getting to that point where it's like I'm gonna work my ass off to get to that point in 2021.
Well, you wouldn't have wrestled half the people you have done or wrestled for half the companies that you have done if you wasn't good. Like that's just as simple as that. Like you've wrestled some amazing people, wrestled for some of the best companies. I'm sure if you, like, to be honest, you are one of those guys that I could see appearing on AEW Dark and it wouldn't be weird. And that was going to be my next question. Is AEW Dark on your radar? Because they're opening so many doors for the independent scene right now. It's like the hot ticket getting that AEW Dark match because so many people have gone in, kicked the door down, and now they're signed.
Yeah.
That could be you.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm not sure of how many people from Indiana have been on AEW. I've been kind of like keeping track of it. I know there's a couple people that live there that are on it, but like
not from.
They need a Hoosier. You know what I mean? They need a Hoosier to throw down and show them what's up. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. It's definitely on my radar. It's something I really want to accomplish. It's just a milestone. Go out there, do what I do, and whatever happens, happens. But I know I'm confident enough in my abilities to succeed at any level given the opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah. And talking about, obviously, Callum mentioned like you've been in the ring with a few, with the people you've been in the ring with. How does that affect you? Like, I mean, obviously you have to change your style for different people. For example, you've been in the ring with Ace Austin. You've been in the ring with Calvin Tankman. I mean, how do you approach those matches? I mean, with two different guys like that.
Like you said, be a chameleon. Not go into their style, but figure out how my style fits their style and just try and complement what I do better. If Calvin's going to throw me around, I want to be faster and hit him up fast, hit him low and hit him high as fast as I can. With Ace Austin, I'm going to slow him down and make it a fight. You know what I mean? Ace Austin's one of those guys, once he gets going, it's hard to fucking slow him down.
Yeah.
And you're just going to have to chop him down, chop those big ass legs down first, and go to the body.
Have you seen the size of him now?
You know what I mean? And the same thing with Calvin. Once I get that speed on Calvin, man, it's hopefully just speed him up. But it's just understanding what I have to do to beat them up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I saw your match with Calvin Tankman in GCW. And like, it's one of those matches where you look at you both and go, okay, well, Calvin's definitely got a size advantage, but it was one of those where, he's a big dude, but at the same time, your styles match really well. Like in a match like that, you can only see it going like a squash match, for example. But it was a really competitive match, and I think, did you win?
Yeah, he won. Thanks.
Oh, he won.
The reminder. Yeah.
Ah, okay. But I don't know. For some reason, I thought you won. Still a really good match, though. I think it was one of the first matches of yours that I'd seen. And that was the other thing. I realised like you're wearing pretty much the attire that you do wear when you're wrestling anyway. How much of what we see from you on like GCW shows, for example, is the real you? Is it just you when you're out there?
Honestly, at this point, it is. You know,
Right.
I try to like pigeonhole myself in who other people wanted me to be, and I'm this super serious, tough, scary guy, wrestler guy that everybody wants to be. In real life, I just wear jerseys all the time. I wear basketball shorts or sweats or athletic clothing. So that's kind of what I wear. I'm literally wearing my "He Hate Me" jersey all day today. Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm just cleaning house. Like I'm getting more, and I don't want people to think I'm cocky from me saying I'm confident what I can do. Like it's not me being cocky, but it's me finally being comfortable in my own skin.
That's a good thing,
I
though.
go out there and when I wrestle, sometimes I'm jumping up and down and I'm just vibing to the theme song on the way there, and sometimes I'm just walking, marching like Dale, and you got it. I'm walking and marching like Dale, and it's just I'm happy with exactly being who I am. That's the guy that wears jerseys and goes out and has a good time. And you know, when it comes down to fighting, I hit motherfuckers hard.
When I think the first time I saw you, I was like, okay, is he a bit of a frat boy kind of? Yeah.
Oh, no.
When I was watching a few times, I was like, no, he's not at all a frat boy.
No, I'm just a sports guy.
Yeah.
In real life, I like basketball, I like football, I like combat sports, I like boxing. Yeah. I'm a sports guy, but I don't think I'm a frat boy. I'm not shocked.
No. Like that. It was just the jerseys and stuff. I was like, is he a bit of a jock kind of character? But after I'd seen you a few times, I was like, nah.
No. I get more pop punk than anything, and then I start to think like, how is basketball and football jerseys pop punk? I mean, if it works, it works. I don't mind, but
maybe your entrance. No, not your entrance. I don't know.
I don't know. It's probably fine.
As well, talking about obviously you said AEW Dark and things like that. Could we see you over here in the UK at some point? Is that a bucket list for you?
Yeah, it is. Hell yeah, it is. Absolutely, it is, man. I want to go to the UK. I want to go to Germany. I want to go to Japan. I want to go everywhere. Like, yeah. I got the visa. Let's rock and roll. You know what I mean? Like, like it's such a big goal to go over there and wrestle. And at this point, it's just hoping once everything opens up, the opportunity presents itself to go over there.
I guarantee if you announced that you were looking for bookings in the UK, you'd find work with like Rev Pro and Progress easily. Absolutely. Like, not a doubt. We love import wrestlers in the UK. We love it when they come over here. And like Shug D, for example, he came over for a few matches and ended up staying for like
months.
Months, yeah.
Yeah, I literally saw him at Rockstar, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm just going over here for like a week or two." And I was like, "All right, so cool." And then I like checked Facebook the other like a week and a half later. It was like, "Yeah, I just got my apartment in the UK." I was like,
"Yeah."
What? I was like, "For real?" Okay.
Yeah. To the point where I remember when I first saw Shug D, it was on a show in the UK, and I thought he was British. I thought he was English. And then I looked at his Twitter bio, and it said American living in the UK. And I was like, what the fuck? And he's like, oh, no, I just came over for a few matches, and now I live here.
Hey,
so,
can't beat it.
That could be you.
That's the goal, right?
Yeah, man. Although I would say, don't live here. I mean, you live in Indiana, you've already got it pretty sweet.
Oh yeah, I love where I'm living. It's perfect. You know, I live in a college town, so I guess that might help the frat boy idealization. But there's plenty of bars where I'm at. There's awesome food, and I'm like an hour away wherever I want to go wrestle at. So
that was the best part about Indiana. Was it Finnegan's we went to, Jamie?
Finnegan's Bar. Forgive us for our Britishness, because Obviously we've got a friend who's from Indiana, and we stayed there for a few nights. And I want to say, and again, I could be completely wrong. I want to say Cherryville or Cherryville, or it was something along those lines. I said, forgive our Britishness. We've probably got it completely wrong, but there's a bar. There was an Irish bar called Finnegan's that he took us to on the first night, and
in Wilmington?
Where? Sorry.
Where? Just in Indiana.
Cherryville, I think it is. I think it's near Dyer, Indiana.
Maybe. I think that's like northern Indiana. I'm more like southern.
Yeah.
I'm like mid to southern, but
right.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
Can I just say as well, I was so devastated when I found out that Pawnee, Indiana isn't a real place.
What?
Pawnee, Indiana from Parks and Rec.
Oh yeah, from Parks and Rec.
It's not a real place.
Oh, I was like, honestly though, when I started watching Parks and Rec for the first season, I was like, oh shit, somebody put something in Indiana? Why? I was like, for real? Like, okay, cool.
Is it like an accurate representation of real life there then?
No, yeah.
That's my bubble.
It's a loose representation. Yeah. Like, you can see it sometimes. Like, you can see like a little bit. You're like, ooh, yeah, that might be it. But nah, honestly, Indiana is a lot of bad drivers and nice down-home people. So.
Yeah, honestly, I said it at the start and I'll say it again. I mean, I left my heart in Indiana. I truly love that place, and I didn't want to leave. I can't tell you enough how much I cannot wait for the day when I can get on an airplane and go back there. And I suppose I'll take Callum with me as well if I have to. But dude, I fell in love with the place. I really did. It's a beautiful place. But yeah, the bar was called Finnegan's Bar. It's like an Irish bar.
Really cool.
We fell in love, and like I think because we were the only like British people in there, everyone was like, "Oh, make sure you come back. Make sure you come back." But,
yeah, seriously, like.
I bet. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, go on.
No, it's you.
One thing that does help when we come to America is having a British accent, even though we have the worst accent in the UK, apparently. When we come over, everyone's like, "Oh my God, you're so interesting because you're British," and I'm like, "We're really not." But
you're like, I'm just a dude.
I'm just a dude with a British accent. But apparently they'll love it, and they'll get us to say all these words, and like, "Oh, can you say this? Can you say that? Do you know Harry Potter? Do you know One Direction?" And I'm like, "No, but all right, yeah, sure."
I mean, yeah, it's cool, sure.
Yeah.
They loved it. I mean, and the chicks digged it as well. I mean, in that Finnegan's bar, the minute our friend introduced, honestly, man, he introduced me to these two of his friends at a table, these two girls, and that was it. I'm like, oh my God, he's from London. I'm like, I'm not from London, but we love your accent.
We can pretend I am. That's
yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, I can pretend to be from London. I don't mind at all. But yeah, it's bizarre, like because. Like Callum said, our accent was actually voted the worst accent in the UK 2 years in a row.
2 years.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah. The only thing we've ever won.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man, over in the US, like Indiana and all that, like they loved it. The chicks, especially the girls, they're like British guys.
That's what we've got to do, right? Can we say these? I'm going to spell out a word for you, and you tell me how you say it.
Spell out a word.
Yeah, okay. And then you tell me how you pronounce it.
Okay.
Okay, so TWAT.
Twat.
There we go. Right. So we laugh at this because our friend also says twat in Indiana.
Okay.
But because we're British, we say twat. And we've been trying to work out for the last 2 years where the ot part comes from. So Americans say twat and British people say twat.
I would just probably think it's just because if you take out the T, it's just what? W-A-T?
Maybe.
We just have a lower...
Yeah, there we go.
We keep it on the down low.
And I think the other one was kebab. but
Kebab?
our friend says kebab.
I say kebab, but it might be kebab. I don't know.
I just had to ask. It's not often we get someone from Indiana on the podcast, so I had to ask.
No, absolutely. I appreciate you guys having me, for real.
That's cool. Though. Obviously, I know you want to go and watch. You got your football to watch and some beers to drink, and so we won't keep you too much longer, because it's about 8 p.m. here, and this idiot's up for work in a few hours as well. So
oh man.
But before we let you go though, dude, tell us where we can find your social media, any merchandise, any upcoming shows.
Yeah, honestly, my social media is super easy. It's at Cole Radrick, COLERADRICK. That's Instagram and that's Twitter. Super simple. I have sick Jonesy t-shirts still available. You can just DM me. I got photos. I thought I had a pinned tweet of it. I might not. I think I just have my highlight reel from this year. You can find me. I'm wrestling for GCW December 31st and January 1st. That January 1st is me versus Dickinson, and then after that, we'll see where it goes from there.
I think I saw some of the merch you posted recently on Twitter. It's absolutely sick.
Thank you.
I can't remember which one it was. It might have been a long sleeve t-shirt.
Yeah, those are the ones I'm talking about.
Awesome, really cool design. Definitely want to get one at some point. It's one of those t-shirts like it doesn't even look like a wrestling t-shirt. You can just wear it anywhere. It's cool as fuck.
Yeah, it's one of his horror collabs he's been doing.
Yeah,
he's been dropping tons of them, and I was the first in the line, and so it's pretty sick, man. I got plenty of them left. I got a bag right there,
waiting to go.
Right now, you said something. So obviously, before I let you go, we usually don't carry on after you've plugged your socials and stuff, but you mentioned you're going on against Chris Dickinson. Are you looking forward to that? Because we spoke to Chris a couple of weeks ago, and he's such a cool guy. That must be a match you're looking forward to.
Absolutely. That's going to be a test to see where I am as a professional wrestler. He's an established guy that's been on the scene for a long time. He's one of those guys that 2021 is going to be that year where he gets to the level that wherever he wants to be at, he's going to get there. Yeah. But it's also a proving point for me to show that I'm here for a reason. I'm not just a guy that was available to get in the car and all these cool things were able to happen. There's a reason that I'm in this position, and we're going to go to war on January 1st, and I'm excited for it. It's one of those things where it got announced, and I knew January 2nd, January 3rd, it's going to be sore as I'm going to be sore as can be, but it's going to be a fight. I'm really excited for it.
We'll be watching, dude, without a doubt.
You've just sold the entire show.
Yeah, that was actually a great promo.
That's not a promo. It's me talking about life. Like I'm not here to act like I'm a tough guy. I'm just a guy that I know whenever I go out to the ring, it's a fucking fight. It's the same thing that everybody's talking about whenever Nick Gage can return. That backyard show. Everybody realize that I can be a goofy dude on my entrance, but when I get between 4 posts and 3 ropes, I'm a fighter. And that's what we're going to do January 1st, and I'm excited.
Awesome, man.
We'll be watching. We will be watching. But before we let you go, man, please come back on in the new year, won't you? We'll chat some more.
Absolutely, wherever.
Obviously, we're going to come back to Indiana at some point. You're going to take us to some haunted places as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That, and there's a cool couple bars in Bloomington. And then whenever we're drunk at 2 a.m. running across the street, there is a place where you get some baked cookies, hot and fresh, at 3 a.m. with milk.
Why? That sounds amazing.
This is why I love Indiana, right? This is why I love Indiana, dude.
That's
it really
the best.
Is.
For no reason, it's the best.
You don't get that here. You don't get that.
It's amazing. There's been plenty of times at 3:30, I'm just like, I need something to eat, and I just walk to Bake the Bloomington and get everything I need. It's amazing.
If we need something to eat at 3:30 in the morning, we just have to deal with it. There's nothing.
McDonald's isn't open or nothing?
I don't even think. Do we have one? A 24-hour?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, news to me, but.
Yeah, I mean, shit, I don't know.
Yeah, we have a 24/7 McDonald's. We do, so that's a good one actually. Yeah, we can do that. But Cole, dude, it's been an absolute pleasure, man. Honestly, it's been one of our favourite ones. This we could talk to you forever. What team do you support anyway? Who's your team football?
Indianapolis Colts always, and then when it comes to like international soccer, I'm a big Manchester United fan.
Oh, nice.
So,
are you a
Someone's got.
Are you a hockey fan?
If I could understand hockey, I would be such a good hockey fan. I like watching it. It's hard to obviously watch the fucking puck, but honestly, if I could understand like the placement of all the players and what the offsides is, if somebody wanted to take like an hour to help me understand it, I'm cool. I get checking, I get blocking, I get gloves off. Means we're both ready to do this. One guy has gloves off, the other one. You're still gonna get that ass whooped, but
dude, just try and get into it. Honestly,
I try to.
You're right near one of the best teams in the whole world, the Blackhawks.
Yeah,
you're lucky.
I've never been, man. I'd love to go to a game sometime, but it's one of those things where I want to understand it, but I don't. So
I only got into it by mistake because we used to have a hockey team, but they got closed down recently because they were shit. But I just went because the place I worked gave me a free ticket. I was only 19 at the time, and I went and I fell in love with it. And I think other than wrestling, like the only sport that I really like is hockey. So yeah, if you try and get into hockey, it's well worth it. It's confusing as fuck, but if you can understand American football, which you do, you'll easily get ice hockey.
I'll try.
Right.
I'll try.
I'll just stick to soccer. I'll just stick to football. But I'm too old to start learning about other things. I'm an old man now. But cool, dude. It's been an absolute pleasure, man. Like I said, we'll get you back on in the new year. I want to speak to you about the match with Chris Dickinson, see how you feel after it. So I will reach out and get you back on, dude, and we'll rock and roll all over again.
Absolutely, hell yeah.
Hell yeah, man. For now, he's Cole Radrick. We are Ringsiders.